everyone, and welcome to the University of Calgary's 2021 Celebration of Teaching. I'm Leslie Reed, the Vice Provost Teaching and Learning at the University of Calgary, and I'm so delighted to be your host this evening. The University of Calgary Teaching Awards are our most prominent recognition for teaching, and tonight's recipients share an exceptional commitment to enhancing and enriching student learning and student experience across our campus. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Pekainai, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. The City of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. I'd also like to acknowledge that yesterday was Canada's National Indigenous Peoples Day, and June is National Indigenous History Month, and that this year, National Indigenous History Month is dedicated to the missing children, the families left behind, and the survivors of residential schools. Now, I would like to welcome President and Vice Chancellor Ed McCauley, our new Provost and Vice President, Academic Terry Balser, Elder Doreen Burgum, a Métis elder and knowledge keeper, representatives from the Taylor family and Flanagan Foundation, who have so generously supported the Taylor Institute that have allowed us to advance so many of our key initiatives in teaching and learning. Members of the University of Calgary Board of Governors and Senate, as well as members of our senior leadership team, our Students' Union, and our Graduate Students Association. And finally, welcome all of the award recipients and everyone who has joined tonight who has played a role in supporting them. As you well know, this event is being offered online this year. Under non-pandemic conditions, we would have celebrated this event in the Taylor Institute for Teaching and Learning. We are so looking forward to a time in the near future when we can celebrate and recognize our colleagues in person in that beautiful space. Tonight, I hope you are in a beautiful space that is welcoming and comfortable for you for this event. But this change in location does not diminish the accomplishments of tonight's award recipients. Please feel free to use the chat and send well wishes and congratulations to your colleagues. The celebration of teaching is a very special evening, and I'm so glad you're able to join us in congratulating the recipients of 2021 and 2020 and honoring their achievements. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the approximately 350 people, students, department heads, deans, associate deans, faculty, and staff who have supported our nominees in preparing their nomination packages. If you are here tonight as someone who has supported one of our recipients in preparing their packages, we'd like to thank you. Without you, this awards program would not be possible. I would also like to express a special thanks to the staff at the Taylor Institute for Teaching and Learning for organizing the awards program and tonight's celebration. And thanks to Dr. Natasha Kenny, our Senior Director at the Taylor Institute, and her leadership in the awards program this year and in the past 8 years running. This year, more than 60 students, faculty, and staff from across campus served on the 11 adjudication committees that made the difficult decisions for the awards this year. The success of this program is also due in thanks to the commitment and support and effort of our adjudicators and their committees. It is important to highlight that our adjudicators attend an orientation session where they receive guidance and training to ensure equitable practices are embedded in their committee's process. This helps ensure that the adjudication of the University of Calgary Teaching Awards is equitable and inclusive for our nominees. It is an important step we are taking to ensure all members of our community are represented in our recognition programs. I'd like to acknowledge the 11 faculty members who led our adjudication committees through a collaborative decision-making process. And they are Mai Arciana Panlilio, Tara Beatty, Wendy Benoit, Melissa Boyce, Barb Brown, Patty DeJour, Kim Grant, Dave Hansen, Cheryl Jeffs, Donna Marie McCafferty, and Lisa Stowe. And also thanks to Dr. Natasha Kenny, who coordinates and leads at this entire adjudication process and makes sure everybody on the committees and their chairs have the support and resources they need. To start our program, it is my honor to introduce Elder Doreen Burgum. Born in an era where it was illegal to express and practice her Métis culture, she is proud to educate and share her joy of being Métis. Doreen shares the wisdom and culture of her Métis ancestors by teaching jigging, beading, moccasin making, and capote making to future generations. Her drive comes from her commitment to teaching her Métis culture to youth as an important part of Canadian history. Doreen, I would like to offer you as thanks this gift of blanket and tobacco in honor of the blessing you are going to give us today for our event. Over to you, Doreen.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for that introduction.
I would now like to invite Dr. Terry Balser, our Provost and Vice President Academic, to share her thoughts and congratulations.
See, even in fancy presentations, you can be on mute accidentally. My apologies, but thank you very much, Leslie, and welcome to everyone here. We really have an incredible program ahead of us tonight, focusing on celebrating the amazing work of some of the brightest educators at the University of Calgary. And I'm really glad that all of you could join us. We're going to get to see how innovation in teaching is at the heart of creating transformative student learning experiences, which is something very near and dear to my heart. It speaks to our core mandate as a university to develop future-ready, highly skilled graduates who leave the university as active citizens and also as leaders ready to drive positive change in the organizations and communities they belong to and serve. I'm particularly excited to celebrate the 2021 University of Calgary Teaching Award recipients and their accomplishments, spanning the breadth of what it means to be an educator on our campus. From innovation and curriculum development to educational leadership, the story of each of the award recipients shares a common thread. Each individual and team were selected for the awards by committees comprised of their peers and students for their outstanding contributions to student learning. Some of them have teaching careers that span a lifetime, and others are just beginning their teaching journeys. I'd like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of the award recipients and a thank you to all of those who supported them in their nominations. And as you heard from Leslie, that's quite a large number of people. A lot has gone into this. And so congratulations, especially to the award winners, and deep, deep thank you to everyone that has helped. Many of our award recipients have demonstrated remarkable achievements in online learning during the pandemic, going above and beyond to support their colleagues and students. Some of them may have known a bit about online learning before all of this, and I'm certain that we all know quite a bit more about online learning now. But I want to reflect just for a moment on what some of the events of the past year have meant for the campus community. In March 2020, as I understand it, 6,000 courses were moved online in less than 2 weeks to ensure the safety of our students, faculty, and staff, which is really, really amazing. It was deeply challenging, but it was also extraordinary. And I don't want to downplay the challenges, but I have heard incredible, inspiring stories of the collaborative teaching partnerships, the high quality online teaching that was developed, the innovation in the curriculum and the interdisciplinary learning, and just people taking advantage of the challenge to find some positive outcomes and find a new way forward. So despite the challenge, we have seen some good too. Having started in my role just a few months ago, I know I wasn't here for most of that time, but I really can already see the results of the hard work from the campus community and have heard and seen some of the lessons learned. We've learned about how disruption can accelerate positive change as well as add stress, which we've learned. It can unite people and break down barriers, which brings me to another major social movements that have been happening in 2020, which is really the need to create the more equitable, diverse, and inclusive communities and post-secondary institutions, particularly for our Black and Indigenous students and scholars. This is absolutely essential, especially as we look around us and see the events happening in the world today. that make me sad and make me even more committed to address these problems and address the ways forward. We know that we need to amplify the voices of those who aren't always heard and make sure that they have a seat at the table. And also, even when the pandemic ends, I think we all probably realize it doesn't mean the end of change. That's going to continue as it always does. And this is something I thought quite a lot about for a long time now, about the massive shifts in the world that we're experiencing socially, technologically, and environmentally. And we know that our graduates are going to need to be equipped with skill sets that allow them to respond to this kind of change and respond to and address complex local as well as global scale problems. This is not a simple thing. And these skills are going to be critical for ongoing employment, not just employment right away, but jobs are changing and the nature of jobs are changing. And indeed, in Alberta, our post-secondary institutions are going to be held increasingly accountable for outcomes related to employability. Enhancing and expanding experiential and work-integrated learning opportunities for our students with our industry and community partners is an important part of creating that kind of learning environment that's going to help our students be successful from now and far into the future. So tonight, we're going to get to see how some of our educators are creating that environment, working on the cutting edge of experiential learning through course-based undergrad research and work-integrated practicum style placements. And I'm actually really looking forward to seeing it and learning even more about this university that I now get to call home. So again, thank you and congratulations. And I'll hand things back over to Leslie to get us going.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. So we were not able to have a celebration of teaching last year due to the pandemic. So before we go on to the announcements of our 2021 award recipients, we'd like to take a moment and recognize our extraordinary colleagues who were award recipients from 2020 and those who were recognized as well by receiving national level teaching awards over this past year. Congratulations to all of last year's recipients. We'd like to thank you for your outstanding work in teaching and learning. And now I am excited to move to this year's award recipients. Tonight we will enjoy a mix of pre-recorded videos and live interviews with some of our recipients. Let's begin with our first group of award recognition videos for the Full-Time Academic Staff, Sessional Instructors, and Educational Leadership Awards.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Rosehart, Dean of the Schulich School of Engineering, and I am thrilled to be presenting the awards for full-time academic staff. The awards for full-time academic staff recognize the teaching excellence of full-time colleagues. There is one award for each academic rank.
The 2021 Full-Time Academic Staff Instructor Award goes to Dr. Mohammed Mashuapur, Schulich School of Engineering.
Mohammed joined the university in 2016 and has worked with over 5,000 first-year students and nearly 1,000 software engineering graduate students. His dedication to equity has allowed him to expand his teaching practice with diverse perspectives and ways that uniquely enrich his ongoing work with students.
I'm very grateful and honored to be recognized with the TI Teaching Award this year. I would like to thank the selection committee as well as the Schulich School of Engineering for nominating me. I would like to thank and share this award with my students. You inspire me every day and I very much enjoy working with you. I would also like to thank all my colleagues for sharing your wisdom with me and supporting me throughout this journey. Thank you.
The 2021 Full-Time Academic Staff Senior Instructor Award goes to Dr. Simon Spanswick, Faculty of Arts.
Simon places considerable emphasis on challenging students to create critical thinking and independent learning skills. Students regularly express their appreciation for his sense of humor and his ability to highlight the real-world application of the concepts he covers in class.
Wow, what an honor. I'd like to thank Don Johnston, Keith Yates, Melissa Boyce, and Heather Iverson for their nomination and letters of support. I'd also like to acknowledge the broader teaching community at the University of Calgary. We have such an amazing group of people here, and if you've ever had a conversation about teaching and learning with me, you have had a positive influence on my pedagogical approach. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you so much to my wife, Lindsay. You are my rock, and your support has been inspiring to me.
The 2021 Full-Time Academic Staff Associate Professor goes to Dr. Miwa Takuche, Workland School of Education.
Miwa has a long commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, which forms the cornerstones of her teaching practice. Her genuine motivation is to understand the ways in which the education system can respond and provide opportunities for mathematical literacy to be more accessible for all learners in our rapidly changing society. Her classroom is a dynamic learning space where rich discourse occurs and at the same time engages students in deep and meaningful learning.
I'm deeply grateful for all the students and colleagues who thought I was worthy of the University of Calgary Teaching Award. I've been feeling, and I still feel, I'm being deviated from the social norms for great professor in many intersectional ways. But I hope I can turn my lived experiences into the power to bring positive changes into academia through my teaching. Thank you very much.
The 2021 Full-Time Academic Staff Professor goes to Dr. Jessica Theodore, Faculty of Science.
A hallmark of Jessica's teaching is her careful design of student experiences and assessments that emphasize active learning and student collaboration. Jessica's ability to listen and respond to students' needs, combined with her evidence-based approach to teaching, has allowed her to develop excellent online instruction. In the switch to remote learning, Jessica was innovative in her approach and designed a hybrid learning experience for her laboratories.
Hi, I'd like to say what an honor it is to receive a teaching award from the University of Calgary, and I'd like to thank the Taylor Institute, my colleagues and students who nominated me, and the students I teach. This is an exciting place to teach, and I have great colleagues who have helped me so much in my development as a teacher, and I hope to continue to contribute, 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 contribute
Hello, everyone. I'm Penny Werthner. I'm Dean of the Faculty of Kinesiology, and I have the pleasure of presenting the awards for sessional instructors. The award for sessional instructors recognizes the teaching excellence of up to 3 colleagues holding sessional appointments who have taught a minimum of 2 courses at the University of Calgary.
The first 2021 Sessional Instructor Award goes to Dr. Carol Ng, Faculty of Social Work.
Carol's known for her commitment to creating a safe and inclusive learning environment, a commitment that comes from her childhood, her family, and life experiences as a Chinese Canadian. She uses these life experiences to develop her students' cultural awareness and cross-cultural understanding, necessary skills for their future practice when working with clients.
I'm so honored to be receiving the Teaching Excellence Award for Sessional Instructors. I would like to thank the Faculty of Social Work, my colleagues who nominated me and supported my nomination, as well as the many colleagues for enjoyable and productive collaborations over the years. I am grateful for their ideas and insights. Term after term, my students inspire me with their passion and energy. It's a real privilege to be part of their educational journey. Finally, my family's love and support give me the strength to challenge myself to grow as a teacher and as a person.
The second 2021 Sessional Instructor Award goes to Dr. Polly Knowlton-Cockett, Faculty of Social Work.
Polly is recognized for her ability to drive authentic engagement and collaborative learning among cohort members in her online courses. She's also a primary driver behind building a strong learning community among contract faculty at Workland, making their crucial work more visible and enabling them to create a strong network.
Hello, thank you so much for this opportunity to express my gratitude to all of the people in Workland School of Education, especially my students, of course, both graduate and undergraduate, and to my colleagues for all the support and wonderful encouragement you have provided. It has been an honor to learn myself from all of the students who are so eager and interested in the issues of today in education. Thank you again.
The final 2021 Sessional Instructor Award goes to Dr. Carol Gibbons-Croker, Faculty of Kinesiology.
Carol is known for her phenomenal ability to understand the unique need of each individual student in order to assist them in any way that she's able to. This is especially noteworthy because she teaches large, content-heavy, introductory anatomy and physiology courses to more than 500 students. Teaching large classes does not deter Carol from making her classes fun and interactive.
Thank you so much to the Taylor Institute for this award and for recognizing the value of teaching in the training of professionals and researchers. Thank you also to my kinesiology students who make me want to be in the classroom every day and who inspire me to be innovative in my teaching. And finally, thank you to Laura Crack and Reed Ferber who got the nomination rolling. Thank you again.
Hello everyone, I'm Ian Holloway, the Dean of the Faculty of Law, and I have the pleasure this year of presenting the Awards for Educational Leadership. The Awards for Educational Leadership recognize the outstanding work done by individuals and groups who demonstrate leadership in initiatives that have had an impact on teaching and learning at departmental, faculty, and institutional levels.
The 2021 Educational Leadership Award for an individual in an informal role goes to Dr. Jean Yin Tan, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine.
Dr. Tan led transformational work in developing equine veterinary services, learning initiatives with the Tsuut'ina and Siksika nations, providing a critical link to Indigenous communities that was previously lacking in the curriculum. She also demonstrated leadership in the development of a veterinary business stream in one of the faculty's major courses.
I want to express my gratitude to the Taylor Institute for making opportunities for informal leaders to both learn and be recognized for our efforts. Thank you to Drs. Singh, Ward, Warren, Jeffs, and most of all, Dr. Shalhoub, for your support and encouragement in this application. I am deeply grateful to my partners as Tsuut'ina and Siksika Nation and the professional and clinical skills teams who helped turn my far-fetched ideas into reality. Finally, thank you to my husband and my mother for supporting me through the long hours I dedicate towards my pursuits.
The 2021 Educational Leadership Award in a group initiative goes to Dr. Michelle Jacobson and Dr. Hawazin Alarbi, Workland School of Education.
Michelle and Hawazin designed the Quality Graduate Supervision MOOC to provide flexible and accessible online faculty development for 185 new and experienced graduate supervisors across disciplines from the University of Calgary and from Athabasca University.
Hi, I'm Michelle Jacobson from the Workland School of Education. Hawazin El-Harbi and I are thrilled to be this year's recipients of the Teaching Award for Educational Leadership for our work on the Quality Graduate Supervision MOOC. Projects like this are rarely an individual effort. We thank the colleagues from across campus who've worked with us to put the course together and to offer it several times to our colleagues across disciplines.
Hi, my name is Hawazin El-Harbi, and it is my pleasure to be selected for the 2021 University of Calgary Teaching Award in Educational Leadership with Dr. Michelle Jacobson. It is always nice to get recognized for doing the things that you're really passionate about, and it just motivates you to do even more.
The 2021 Educational Leadership Award for an individual in a formal role goes to Nikki Nicolau, Faculty of Law.
Nikki's demonstrated extraordinary leadership during her tenure as Associate Dean in our faculty. Under her leadership, the success of the implementation of our Calgary curriculum has been instrumental in creating a focus on experiential learning and on developing the practice-ready lawyer.
I'm incredibly honored to receive this award, which recognizes educational leadership. For me, leadership is all about building and maintaining strong relationships. I would like to thank my nominators and my colleagues in the Faculty of Law and in the legal community who supported my nomination. I would also like to thank all of my colleagues and the students of the faculty, as well as all the wonderful teaching and learning leaders across this university who have supported me and have played such an important part in my leadership journey.
Wow. Thank you, Bill, Penny, and Ian, for your help celebrating our recipients and sharing a bit about each of them. And once again, I'd like to thank all of tonight's recipients for their exceptional commitment to enriching our learning environments. You are the heart of our academic community and our students' experience. Student Union President Nicole Schmidt has expressed how academic staff make a real difference in the lives of their students and their experience on campus. This year, a lot of that happened off campus too. Here is Nicole with her words of appreciation.
On behalf of the undergraduate students at the University of Calgary, I want to extend a heartfelt congratulations to all of this year's Teaching Award recipients. Throughout the pandemic, students have told us repeatedly how important it has been to have supportive teachers. We have all been challenged in different ways over the past 15 months, but it has been amazing to see both professors and academic support staff rise to the challenge and adapt together to an online learning environment. We know that great teachers can have a massive impact on students, both in terms of academic success and personal growth. Students know the value of great teachers. They're not just the purveyors of grades, they are listeners, motivators, opportunity makers, and sometimes life changers. Congratulations again to this year's award recipients, and thank you for your continued support and commitment to teaching and learning at the University of Calgary.
Before we move on to celebrating our next set of award recipients, we wanted to showcase the University of Calgary's growing efforts in experiential learning. Here's more on why we strive to expand and enhance experiential learning opportunities for our students.
Our complex and changing world requires post-secondary graduates with advanced skills in research, entrepreneurial thinking, collaboration, and communication. In recent years, governments have explored the potential of experiential learning to reduce the shortage of skilled graduates and disruption in the workforce due to technological change. At the University of Calgary, we recognize that it is critical for our programs to integrate hands-on experience with academic study. Our students engage in diverse types of learning in and outside the classroom, including co-ops, internships, field schools, laboratories, simulations, pitch competitions, and much more. This type of learning is called experiential learning, or learning by doing, and requires students to grapple with messy problems, sort through different perspectives, and develop new ways of thinking. Experiential learning offers vital opportunities for our students to engage with issues of global relevance and great importance to our communities. Through experiential learning, students discover their sense of purpose, improve their civic consciousness and employability, and prepare for future leadership roles in their organizations. By 2025, experiential learning will be a cornerstone of the U Calgary student experience.
Now tonight, I'm excited to help showcase our next set of award recipients in a unique way. We've invited a small group of our recipients to join me live to share their teaching insights and words of gratitude. So I'd now like to introduce the next awards category.
The 2021 Experiential Learning Initiatives Award recipient is Mindy Summers, Faculty of Science.
Welcome, Mindy. Congratulations on your accomplishments. It is so inspiring to see how open students are in your courses to your challenging experiences and how the learning opportunities that you create deepen their learning and engagement. Your students described your course as creative, innovative, collaborative, and reflective. They said you see them as co-designers in your courses. What would you say is the key to designing your courses?
I would say that the creativity and innovation in my courses and my teaching practice really does arise from collaboration with undergraduate students, graduate students, colleagues, and increasingly the wider community. Students as partners is my first course design principle, so my first step is always to build a team of students, graduate teaching assistants, and colleagues that will contribute in different ways at different time points to the course. Having a great team then really allows us to identify learning goals that will stretch both students and the instructional team to take risks, experiment, and embrace new ways of learning, creating, and sharing knowledge. A team also is really important because it allows an iterative approach to course design. Every learning activity and assessment I have designed has required multiple iterations based on reflection and feedback, and there are always things that work well and not so well when I'm doing things differently. I found that collecting data on student learning and experiences and asking for reflective feedback from students and the instructional team before, during, and after teaching experiences is really instrumental to using collaboration to continually improve course design.
Awesome. How does your teaching philosophy impact your course designs?
So my teaching philosophy can be summarized as students doing what scientists do. And so you'll therefore see students in my courses collecting insects in their backyard and around the city, DNA barcoding seafood from our local grocery stores, using microscopes to observe specimens and record scientific data, reading the literature, and engaging in course-based research experiences. In each of these experiences, students are working collaboratively, both within the course and now more and more with friends, family, and the wider community, particularly to study biodiversity in the city of Calgary. A key component is therefore science communication, with students having the opportunity to share their knowledge and research both within and outside of the course. So students doing what scientists do requires building partnerships and relationships. So you'll also see students in many roles in my courses. Students provide feedback as class reps, support other students as peer mentors, and will work with me after the class to design and study learning activities. I now have a few graduate teaching assistants in my courses who have taken on all of these different roles, and mentoring students through this progression is therefore a really important highlight of my students doing what scientists do teaching philosophy.
Mindy, what message of gratitude would you like to share tonight?
So I would like to say thank you to the many students, past and present, graduate teaching assistants, and colleagues within our department, the University of Calgary and beyond, that have experimented and taken risks with me in my teaching. You've all inspired and motivated me to grow, try new things, and persist through a range of different setbacks. I'm so grateful for your recognition through this nomination. I also find it hard to stop thinking and talking about teaching and learning, so I'd also like to say thank you to my friends and family who have joined my very wide teaching community and supported me in my practice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mindy. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Now, good night. Our next recipient and category is
the 2021 Work Integrated Learning Award recipient is Catherine Hagrid, Haskayne School of Business.
Congratulations, Catherine, and welcome.
Thank you, Leslie. It's an honor to be here.
Now, your students said your courses make a lasting impact on their career decisions and their overall career happiness. And your field project program has rapidly grown in popularity since 2016 and currently has a wait list. What are the pillars you use to guide your course development?
Yeah, thanks. I think, for me, there's two things. So this work integrated learning experience is really about mirroring what's in the classroom. So I really want the student experience to mirror what they can expect when they enter the workplace. A lot of students, this is their first sort of professional opportunity to engage with a client organization. So I really structure the course, and even the exams, we pitch them as you're in an elevator with 20 minutes, half an hour with the CEO, tell her or him about your project, sort of go. So I really try to sort of mirror that environment. And then the other thing I think that's really critical as I design this course is always thinking about engagement and interaction. And for me, a really big part of that is transparency. So in this course, I don't have the students focus on what they're delivering necessarily for the client, but on that process and that experience. So sometimes that means really difficult conversations, both with students and with clients in terms of expectations on deliverables. And I think that pushes the students to do their very best work because they know I always have their back.
Amazing. How does your teaching philosophy shape the student experience?
So, my teaching philosophy has 4 pillars, but I think for me, the one I really want to draw on here is, I came to teaching after a 25-year career in industry, had a lot of workplace inequity, lots of bullying, probably have lots of my own #MeToo moments that I could probably write my own book about. But so I really think this is the opportunity that we can have future leaders engage in social change. So one of the values that drives my teaching philosophy is how do we prepare future leaders in our organizations, in our communities, to really create environments that are free of harassment and bullying and those kinds of things. I personally, I have 3 kids. I don't want them to experience the kind of workplaces that I did when I graduated back in the 90s.
Thanks, Catherine. What message of gratitude would you like to share this evening?
This one, I thought a lot about this one. This class would not be successful without the sort of really engaged client groups we have, and of course the students who participate. And within Haskayne, we're really fortunate. We have a lady, I don't know if she's on the call tonight, Sylvia Troche, who helps in terms of recruiting clients and helps me structure NDAs and ensures that our students are well protected. I think I also want to pass along gratitude both to our Dean, Jim DeWald, and my area chair, Ray Patterson. They took a chance back in 2016, someone with no teaching experience, but 25 years of industry experience. My husband and kids, tolerate Saturday night interruptions and family dinner when students are having panic attacks and they're emailing and texting and need to chat. But I think my biggest gratitude tonight goes out to my mom. She is 93 and a half. I'm a first generation Canadian. She came to Canada when she was 4. She never had the chance to even finish high school. And so I'm the first person in my family to have gotten to go to university. And I couldn't be here today without her. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. Thank you for sharing. It's been great chatting with you, and congratulations. My next guest represents his team of colleagues, and that category is
2021 Team Teaching Award, Schulich School of Engineering. Mike Potter, Layla Bejat, Kartik Marari, Yanni Jazari, Jeff Messier, Rushi Vyas, Robin May Paul, Monique Sullivan, Kat Dornian, Jason Long.
Welcome, Mike.
Leslie.
Well, congratulations to you and the team on this wonderful recognition. So many great minds collaborating to develop innovative and unique programming for Schulich students. And it shows the importance of community and that teaching is a community activity. Would you describe for our audience how the integrated learning stream that the team has designed improves and enhances the student experience?
Yeah, sure. And I'm glad that you mentioned community because that's actually a big part of it. So the concept that we developed is meant to break down the barriers between theory and practice and in an active and integrated way. So we're deliberately trying to link courses together through a design project. And one of the things that we deliberately did as part of that was put students into these groups and learning communities that they're working with persistently throughout the entire semester. So it's not just a one-off lab group or something like that. It's the same group of people for pretty much everything through the entire semester. And although we thought that the integration was going to be really important for the success of this, it actually turned out that the community building was probably the biggest contribution that we found out of part of this. That the students really built a lot of kinship and trust, and they developed this sense of belonging and connection. And that was particularly important over the past year, seeing as the students were entirely online. And because of the content and the way it was delivered and the way that they're working in these groups, they actually gain this sense of autonomy and this ownership for their own learning and the sense that they can take it wherever they want to, that they've really learned how to learn by themselves in a sense.
So how does the team collaboratively manage these streams and support students as well as each other?
Yeah, so one of the biggest aspects, and we spent probably a good 6 months before we even went ahead with this, like planning and how are we going to integrate this and how are we going to keep on top of the integration. And so as we built up to the initial delivery of the ILS, and as we went through the ILS, we're actually having weekly meetings with all the instructors behind the scenes and a couple of our important TAs that were involved in the project. And then within the semester, we actually have a common D2L page for 5 courses. We're collaboratively scheduling and trading off like, oh, I need a couple extra minutes or 15 more minutes to do this. And so we find a time in the schedule for someone else to take over and do that. It's like herding cats, not surprisingly, but it was really important to do that in order to give the students the best experience. And then the final piece that I think was really important is built into this whole experience is reflection activities that we've developed for the students. And so we're actually constantly getting weekly feedback from that process that isn't the students don't necessarily know that it's about feedback. It's more self-reflection on their own learning, but it also helps us gauge what they're struggling with, when they're struggling, and how to react to that on the fly as to waiting for a USRI at the end of the course.
Thank you, Mike, for sharing. What message of gratitude would you like to share on behalf of the team?
Yeah, on behalf of the team, first off, I want to thank the committee. We've put a lot of hard work into this over the years, and it's really nice to be recognized for all of that work. And it wouldn't have happened if we didn't have the support of leadership saying, you want to do that? Sure, we'll put the resources in to be able to try that. And the staff that supported us in managing the changes on the administrative side, and probably most importantly, the graduate students, they were a really, really key piece in the success of this delivery, and in particular, some of the graduate students that were listed on the slide there, but also over the years behind the scenes. And probably most importantly, I actually really want to thank the students, especially the first group of students that were willing to just dive into the deep end without really knowing what was going to happen and just embrace that change. And I think that's a really important message to take away, that if you give the students the latitude, you'd be amazed what they'll run with and find themselves in at the end of the whole experience.
Well, thank you so much, Mike, and congratulations again to you and the team.
Thanks.
Now, the next recipient and category up is...
The 2021 Teaching in Online Environments Award recipient is Sarush Sabagan, Workland School of Education.
Congratulations, Sarush, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for having me.
Now, your colleagues named you as both an inspirational leader for students and as an inspirational peer mentor. How does incorporating technology and multimedia into your learning environments enrich your course offerings and learnings?
Well, I generally try to create learning environments that are primed to help students make sense of the content the course is offering. Technology can be used to enhance the sense-making experience in various ways. For example, content represented multimodally might help with sense-making. Technology can also offer experiences that were previously not possible. A good example is video feedback. Our research shows that recorded video feedback adds a new layer of understanding because students get to experience how instructors perceive and react to their work. Finally, technology creates new possibilities for the collective. For example, blogs can be inserted in various points of the digital content. And as students contribute, they can see how sense-making is emergent. So I think the combination of these opportunities can enrich course offerings and the student learning experience.
Thank you. Now, how does your teaching philosophy encourage student reflection?
I frame my teaching philosophy as teaching as co-evolving, which mandates that I design my courses such that students are able to engage with the material in a manner that is appropriate to their current situation. For example, some courses have multiple levels of readings, and there are more learning tasks than required. So the course design encourages reflection. It invites students to reflect upon themselves and their context to select a path that would best suit their learning needs. And I am with them every step of the way. Through dialogue, these decisions are made collaboratively. So there's no fixed or predetermined path for me or my students. And that's why I frame my teaching philosophy as teaching as co-evolving. Sometimes we decide to stay the course, and other times we decide to make radical changes. And I think that these organic movements are evidence of continuous reflection.
Wow, what a wonderful adventure. Is there a message of gratitude you would like to share this evening?
Absolutely. First, to my greatest of teachers, my students, who have inspired me, encouraged me, motivated me, and challenged me. And it's certainly because of them that I'm here. So to each and every one of them, I am eternally grateful. Second, I'd like to thank my colleagues at the Workland School of Education who have created this wonderful and nurturing space for junior faculty like myself to grow and develop professionally. And last but not least, to my family who have earnestly supported me throughout my career, and I am forever in their debt.
Thank you, Sarush. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you tonight. Our final guest of the evening is Dr. Carrie Din.
2021 Curriculum Development Award, Faculty of Kinesiology. Carrie Din, William Bridle, Simon Barrick, Dave Paskovich, Jody McGill.
Welcome, Carrie.
Oh, thank you for having me. I look at that slide and I think, wow, I have to represent. So I'm going to sit up a little taller in my chair. It's such a treat to be here and to listen to all of these incredible reflections. Woo!
Yeah. Well, your team was recognized for its outstanding curriculum review and its vision for the undergraduate program in the Faculty of Kinesiology. How did the team collaboratively establish these strong calls to action as part of the curriculum review?
Thank you for asking that. I think that our calls to action are something we are actually quite proud of, and perhaps we're surprised at times that we arrived at something. I shouldn't say we were surprised, but we really did. It's not a magical answer. Honestly, Leslie, we used the quality assurance handbook provided by your office to map our way. And so I suppose in the end, William and I really were meeting weekly. There was a consistency to the process. And then reaching out to Dave and to Jody and to Simon as it worked to build those guiding questions. And honestly, I think in any endeavor, when the vision is clear, and so those guiding questions took us quite a while to vet and make super clear. And Dave, who's our ADA, was instrumental in that part of setting the vision. Then the steps that followed, I think, were logical. And so from the guiding questions, we were able to build surveys for alumni and current students that really helped us get at the most important questions we had. We were able to run student-run focus groups. We were sending these questions out to faculty members, definitely to sessional instructors. I mean, I could go on, but I think the process to get to those really clear action items that we now have was catalyzed by that plan. And the last thing I want to say about the planning, it's again, not something that sparkles. It's not the same perhaps as these beautiful teaching philosophies we've heard about tonight. But on the other hand, I think by having a team focused on a really student-heavy process and a data source that brought in undergraduate voice any way possible, I think we emerged with answers and with a picture of our faculty and the way we see ourselves moving forward that we're very, very excited about achieving. And I'm not going to say that it was easy to achieve, but that was in a nutshell our process.
Thank you for sharing that. So how will you ensure this continuous improvement to the undergraduate curriculum?
Yes, a shorter answer. We have these action items that are honest to goodness. Dr. William Bridle has them in the most beautiful table, and that speaks to the team. I'm not strong at making beautiful tables, but Dr. Bridle is. And so each action item has responsibility beside it, accountability, and then we meet every month with our team to see where we are as far as progress. So we take very seriously the fact that this is somewhat of a strategic plan, and it really is a picture of where we want to go over 5 years. And by checking in every month on whether or not we're making progress toward those specific, they're really clear goals, I think we are able to do continuous improvement more realistically than we ever would if we created the plan and just put it on a shelf, which unfortunately can happen.
Thank you, Carrie. What message of gratitude would you like to share tonight on behalf of your colleagues?
And this is very challenging to speak for others, but I hope I represent all of them so well when I say thank you to you, Leslie, and to your team at the Taylor Institute for valuing this kind of work. I think this is behind the scenes work when it comes to student learning and student experience, and yet your team with Dr. Kim Grant and Dr. Patty DeJour and Dr. Natasha Kenny, and you for sure have shown us the kind of leadership that makes us proud to engage in this work. I had heard different stories of how this could be heavy lifting that maybe wasn't so meaningful. And I would say thank you for inspiring us, honestly, with your support to make something as a team that we're very, very proud of.
Oh, thank you so much, Carrie, and congratulations again to you and the team.
Thank you.
We are so proud of the University of Calgary community, the entire community, for their efforts during the pandemic. The crowded halls became quiet in the blink of an eye. And while it was challenging, the sudden shift to remote and online teaching and learning also brought out the best in our students and our staff. The creativity and commitment we've seen as a result has been inspiring, and our campus community never lost sight of the University of Calgary's goal of excellence in the student experience. Here's a little more about our resilience.
On March 13th, 2020, with just 6 weeks left in the winter semester, the University of Calgary announced that all in-person classes would be temporarily suspended due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Overnight, crowded lecture halls and popular study spaces became eerily quiet as tens of thousands of students, faculty, and staff were advised to stay home. And an astounding 6,000 classes transitioned to remote teaching in the single largest unplanned learning experiment in the institution's history. Faculty and staff pivoted, setting up makeshift home offices in kitchen corners and bedrooms. Most found themselves redesigning courses and final exams as they started to navigate the world of remote and online teaching for the first time. Our teaching and learning community came together in the face of adversity during COVID-19 without ever losing sight of creating meaningful learning experiences for our students. Some even excelled in the virtual world, and they found their classrooms became open to opportunities that literally span the globe. Some academic staff Zoomed experts located in different time zones into their classrooms as guest speakers. Others divided up their large classes into online cohorts, giving students the opportunity to develop authentic relationships with their peers, no matter where they were located. Other groups across campus were actually able to give students more hands-on learning opportunities virtually than they would have in person. The Department of Physics and Astronomy technical team assembled 14 complex experimental setups spread over 3 different rooms and created take-home kits for students to work off campus. The students participated in labs that went above and beyond what would have been offered in a normal year. During COVID-19, we were apart, and yet in some ways more connected than ever before.
Now let's turn our attention to the final set of award recognition videos of the evening.
Hello everyone, I'm Dawn Johnston, Associate Dean of Teaching, Learning, and Student Engagement in the Faculty of Arts. I am so excited to present this year's awards for non-academic staff and the award for librarians, archivists, and curators. The awards for non-academic staff recognize the outstanding contributions of non-academic full-time staff who support student learning experiences at the departmental, faculty, or institutional level.
The 2021 Non-Academic Staff Individual Award goes to Stephen Nanoda, Workshop Technician, Faculty of Arts.
Mr. Nunoda has been described by his colleagues as a passionate, fully committed, exquisitely organized, and going consistently above and beyond the call of duty. Mr. Nunoda has shown a dual passion for teaching and maintaining a safe practice shop. Thanks to his hard work and diligence, the Department of Art has become a leader at the University of Calgary in safety and has been recognized by the university's Environmental, Health, and Safety Department. Mr. Nunoda has provided leadership, reorganization of spaces for social distancing, and created a safe space for our students and instructors in the large number of studio courses that required in-person learning during the pandemic.
I'm honored to be receiving a University of Calgary Teaching Award. As a support staff member, it means a lot to have my contributions to the educational experiences of our students recognized. My efforts would not have been possible without the help of the Department of Art and Art History's faculty, administrative staff, managers, and of course my fellow technicians. Finally, I'd like to thank the many students I've worked with over the years who've made it so worthwhile.
The 2021 Non-Academic Staff Group Award goes to Physics and Astronomy Technical Team, Faculty of Science, Peter Gimby and Wesley Ernst.
This extraordinary team is being honored for their everyday classroom and laboratory support, for developing a web-based lab document archive, and for their laboratory development and design. When the COVID-19 pandemic kept students out of university labs, the FAS tech team led the design and implementation of new experiments that required the development of completely new hardware and software interfaces so that students could complete their course experiments from their homes.
Thank you to the Taylor Institute for having an award that highlights the important role that support staff play in the success of our university. Thank you to Dr. Harlick and Dr. Colley for the nomination. Thank you to Wes Kyle, who played a major role in building the repository, which was our launching point for everything else that we've done. Thank you to the Departments of FAS and the Undergraduate Learning Services for having a supportive environment where everyone's opinions and skills are valued. Thank you to Wes and Zane for all the skill and knowledge that they bring to our team and for pushing me to always do better. Thanks.
I'm extremely grateful to the awards committee for selecting our team to receive this award today. I want to congratulate and thank my colleagues Peter Jimby and Zain Ahmed for their hard work and ingenuity which made this past year a success. I also wish to thank the Physics Teaching Lab Development Committee, including Dr. Cully, Dr. Harlock, and Dr. Friesen, who pushed our team to innovate and empowered us to take some risks to maximize the online learning experience of our students.
The 2021 non-academic staff, librarians, archivists, and curators goes to Nadine Hoffman, Libraries and Cultural Resources.
Ms. Hoffman has provided outstanding support for faculty members and students that is well above and beyond the expectations for her role. One of her many exceptional qualities is her ability to meet students where they are, while empowering them to find creative solutions to challenging problems with limited intervention. During the past decade, Ms. Hoffman has held an astounding 660 sessions over 20 distinct programs across 12 academic units, impacting over 12,000 students.
I'm honored and humbled to receive the Teaching Award for Librarians, Archivists, and Curators. I'd like to thank everyone who supported my nomination and the Taylor Institute for their learning opportunities. Thanks to the faculty members who invite me into their classes, and to the engaged students for allowing me to try different approaches to improve my library sessions for further learning. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ellen Perot, the Dean in the Faculty of Social Work, and I'm so excited to be presenting the awards for Graduate Assistance Teaching and the Award for Graduate Supervision. The awards for Graduate Assistance recognize the teaching excellence of up to 3 graduate students who are employed as teaching assistants in undergraduate courses.
The first 2021 Graduate Assistant Teaching Award goes to Jacob Forshaw, Faculty of Science.
Jacob continuously goes above and beyond the requirements of being a graduate assistant. His students agree that his genuine enthusiasm for the course material and for geology in general is contagious and makes learning exciting and enjoyable.
Hi everyone, Jacob Forshaw here. I'd just like to say that I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to have been chosen for this award. It really is an honor. And I'd like to thank the people who nominated me and wrote letters of support for taking time out of their undoubtedly busy lives to do so. And I'd also like to thank all of the students that I've TA'd at the University of Calgary over the last 4 years. It's been an absolute pleasure and I wouldn't be here without you, so thank you very much.
The second 2021 Graduate Assistant Teaching Award goes to Kaltrina Kasari, Faculty of Social Work.
Over the past 3 years, Kaltrina has become known as a graduate teaching assistant whose solid work ethic and dedication to student learning is exemplary, placing her in high demand. Students and instructors unanimously applaud Kaltrina's skill at collaborating effectively with the course instructor to support students' learning.
I'm honored to receive a teaching award in my capacity as a TA. A big thank you to all the students and faculty members at the Faculty of Social Work who supported this nomination. I'm immensely grateful for the continued support that I received at the Faculty of Social Work. Thank you.
The final 2021 Graduate Assistant Teaching Award goes to Robin Paul, Schulich School of Engineering.
Robin's colleagues agree that she is an incredibly dedicated and motivating teacher assistant. What sets her apart as an academic leader is her ability to link academic success to individual well-being. She believes that seeing each other as human with real vulnerabilities really helps to encourage a supportive learning environment.
The final 2021 Graduate Supervision Award goes to Dr. Gina Dimitropoulos, Faculty of Social Work.
Gina has over 20 years of graduate supervision experience and mentors her students in a career development process that is strategic and iterative. Building strong relationships is a hallmark of Gina's supervisory style. She maintains a close and working relationship with her students even after graduation. Her mentor-mentee relationships are based on mutual respect and openness to intellectual differences.
Thank you, Dawn and Ellen. What an incredible group of award winners. We are so extremely proud of all of our faculty, students, and staff. It is so important to ensure that our students have meaningful learning opportunities during every stage of their academic journeys. And our graduate students play a crucial role on our campus as both learners and as teachers and teaching assistants. I'd now like to invite Tennille Chandro, the president of the Graduate Students Association, to say a few words.
And on behalf of the GSA, I would like to pass on a huge congratulations to this year's Teaching Award recipients. Graduate teaching assistants play such a major role in our campus community, and you may never know the immense impact you have on the students you are supporting. Thank you for all the time and energy you dedicate to making sure students at the University of Calgary have an excellent learning experience. Graduate supervisors have some of the largest impact on graduate students' lives here at the university. Having a supervisor that supports you and your learning goals through your degree contributes to the major successes we see our graduate students achieving every day. Thank you to all the amazing graduate supervisors for all that you do.
At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Ed McCauley, President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Calgary, to offer some closing remarks.
Thank you, Leslie, for that introduction. And Elder Doreen Berger, it's great to see you again. And thank you for that beautiful prayer to open this celebration. It's been so incredible to hear these stories of educators leading the way forward during these past 16 months. The courage, the commitment, the creativity and innovation demonstrated here are all extraordinary. And I want to start by acknowledging Terry, Leslie, and the teams who enable this level of excellence in teaching and learning at our university. I'm so incredibly proud to congratulate the recipients of the University of Calgary Teaching Awards. Thank you so much for the leadership you contribute every day to support our students and our community. I also don't think that this can be said enough. The impact of a great university depends on the efforts of dedicated educators. By creating learning experiences that are immersive and deeply engaging, we've created opportunities for students to become active creators of new knowledge. We create an impact that goes beyond the immediate to the long term, as this generation of empowered problem solvers and leaders go out into the world. A great learning experience changes the lives of our students, who then go on to change lives for the better in every sphere of our society. I know that the educators here online are all very, very familiar with this impact. They see what meaningful learning can do to open minds and spark a journey of lifelong discovery and leadership for their students. But I'm especially thrilled that we have members of the wider community here with us as well, to be able to see this impact in the stories that were shared. We've seen how a commitment to excellence in teaching meant responding with creativity and innovation during the pandemic. And every example was just so inspiring. from the educators who found ways to help students continue lab work and experiments at home, to those who transformed the virtual classroom into an opportunity to bring experts together from around the globe. They were the connectors who created learning cohort groups to help support students in large classes, and extraordinary graduate students who stepped up in so many ways. They led excellence in teaching at the same time they were also making their own pivot to online learning. We also saw fantastic examples of experiential learning and the way these forms of hands-on learning can help set our students up for success. From the work integrated learning example for the business technology management course to the service learning program that enables veterinary students to support equine veterinary clinics in partnership with Tsuut'ina and Siksika First Nations. Every one of these stories speaks to the opportunities that experiential learning can create for individual students and entire communities. Seeing this impact is a major driver for the University of Calgary. We're committed to making sure that all undergraduate students have at least one experiential learning opportunity before they graduate by 2025. And such commitment is especially important as we join our neighbors around the world to turn the page on the COVID-19 pandemic. Terry mentioned how change will be inevitable. We've seen how quickly and deeply this transformation can happen. But thanks to the leadership of the incredible educators and mentors right here in our community, we are creating change that is positive, inclusive, and empowering to future generations. It's been an honor to celebrate this progress with all of you, and I want to close with one last note of appreciation and thanks for your efforts. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. McCauley. And again, on behalf of the University of Calgary community, I would like to congratulate all the 2021 award recipients for helping our students thrive in their academic journeys, and especially during this unique and challenging year. Thank you for your outstanding work to support student learning and for building community and relationships dedicated to teaching and learning. An extra special thank you goes out to embracing the challenge and showing resilience while teaching during a pandemic year, and for finding new ways for your teaching and your students' learning to flourish. And finally, a special shout out to the events team from the Taylor Institute, at our advancement office, and Feature Productions, who have helped pull this event together and celebrate our award recipients tonight. And that includes Jessica Snow, Andrew Margetko, Emily Denouche, Alex Redmond, Robin Arsenault, Amanda Roy McFarlane, and Chris Cook. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight, for all the support you've lent to our award recipients, and for all the work that you have done to support our students' learning. We hope to see you at next year's events, and hopefully we will be in person live at the Taylor Institute for Teaching and Learning. Good night, everybody.